Hello, I know we have some of you on the call at the moment. We're just going to wait until 2:03 to get everybody on and then we commence. Thank you. All right. Well, hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. I see that there's quite a large number of people on the call right now. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Rebecca Bartlett-Jones. I'm Director of Green Key Global. And I have my colleagues from the Communications Department on the line with me, Amy Carson, who's going to walk through process and practice with you from the actual site, and Anu, who is going to be running question time. All right, so we'll get started. So this is our agenda, just quickly, all the things that we're going to go over, how it works, the walkthrough, the process, our developments, and final questions. Okay, so we have 29 years of sustainable development under our belts at Green Key Global. We were established in 1994. It's really hard to believe that back then people were thinking about sustainability, but they were. And now in 2023, we are all thinking about sustainability. So it's become extremely important. So what sets us apart, one of the things anyway, is that we are created for hoteliers by hoteliers. So we have a lot of input into the program, a lot of experts looking at what we should do. And so we've split our assessment into easy to digest parts according to a hotel. So for example, we've split the assessment into engineering, corporate, housekeeping, kitchen, etc. So it resembles a hotel. And it's very easily walked through. And we are the leading sustainable certification program for hotels and event spaces in North America. We're also the most affordable. So how it works. So these are our areas of assessment and they haven't changed. We're going to demonstrate to you how our assessment has changed with all the wonderful upgrades that we've made. just before I get into that, I should tell you that we received a great amount of government funding as they believed in our program, and we were able to upgrade everything that we do. So we were even outpacing the industry in terms of assessment and audit and our standards. So able to put a lot of money into our program and make it so much better. So the areas of assessment have not changed. They are still energy conservation, water conservation, solid waste management, hazardous waste management, indoor air quality, and community outreach. That is more of the local community and reaching out to local businesses, buying locally, and really talking about your sustainable initiatives to the local community. It's very important that you communicate what you're doing in the areas of sustainability, otherwise nobody will know. And we had building infrastructure, of course. You've got to make sure that those pipes are sealed. You've got to make sure that there are no cracks in the windows or in the walls, and that energy is escaping. So a tight ship means a much more sustainable building. Land use, of course. Are you using rainwater to irrigate some of your land? Are you collecting that grey water, which is sinks and showers, to irrigate land and plants, etc., and reuse that water and save that energy there? And environmental management. Environmental management is the corporate office mostly. It's where your policies are. And it's usually the general manager of most hotels, but sometimes it's the corporate office of brands. And we have now incorporated environmental social governance and corporate and social responsibility and regenerative tourism. All the new areas of sustainability are included in our new robust assessment. And sustainability is growing at such a rate that we will be constantly updating our assessment moving forward. Thank you, Ailey. You can move the slide forward. And these are our areas of assessment, like I was talking about just a second ago. So corporate environmental management, housekeeping, food and beverage, conference and meetings, and engineering. So our assessment, it's moved from about 180 to 230 questions, is split in these areas as it always was. And just a note that if you've already taken the assessment, the older version, you will move straight through to the new version when you hit renewal, and all of your old questions will remain. So you just have to answer the new questions. So not too much work there, and upload any more policies. The new assessment has got quite a bit more actual uploading of documents rather than just saying, yes, I have a document and waiting for audit. Let's move on. So this is our process. It's a very simple process, but I'm going to go through it with you because it has
So it looks like Rebecca froze. We're just going to hop on. Oh, Rebecca, you actually froze at the beginning of that process. Did you want to restart, or do you want me to go through the process?
I can restart. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'll restart. So the program has not changed. I think you can hear me. The program has not changed. You start by registering online. Filling out the application form online as you already did, or going into the members area and renewing your registration. And then you get through to the assessment in the areas that I have just said, and the increased amount of questions. And at this point, it has changed. Once you complete your assessment, and it can be maybe 6 or 7 people at once typing in the assessment and completing the assessment, or it could be just the general manager completing the assessment. But however you choose it, you complete the assessment and then you submit the assessment. At this point, when you submit the assessment, you receive a scorecard. Now, this is brand new. So the scorecard, and we just went through this process to test it actually, the scorecard tells you, hey, you've got key level 3. Our key levels go from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, Probably you have a roof garden that's supplying the restaurant, or bees that are supplying the pantry. But anyway, it gives you your scorecard, and you get level 3. It will also tell you that there are questions over here that you could answer, or you could embellish on the questions that you've already answered and answer more of them to raise your score level to a different level. So this is a really helpful area. So once that's done, you can actually stay here and keep doing it if you want, but bear in mind that the more you sit here, the more you're not certified at the moment. If you're renewing, however, I must tell you that you will be certified all the way through. Your certification will not go away. You will just get your new certification level at the end. So you've got your scorecard. You're like, okay, I'm going to move forward. I'm happy with my score. I'm going to submit my final assessment. At that point, it's locked and you can't touch it. And then you move through to the audit. So at the audit level, you register for audit, and at this point you pay for audit. But if you're renewing with us this year, or booking an audit this year for next year, it's completely free. So we are covering the cost of audit for you. Normally it would be $500 for a remote audit. That's the one we're covering. And then if you wanted an in-person audit, it's $2,500. And that really is because as an organization, we have to be sustainably responsible. And there is a huge carbon footprint that goes with an on-site, in-person audit. So we do recommend virtual audit, which is $500, or if you're renewing, free for you, for our legacy members. So you submit for audits and you will get your date back. Once the auditor has audited you, a remote audit entails walking around with your laptop or a phone or a computer live with the auditor. He may say, oh, take me into this fridge, because they have a map of the hotel. Take me into the fridge, or take me to this room, show me this, show me that. So it's not always expected. You won't know where you're going ahead of time, but it is live and it will take about 4 hours. In person, if you chose that, and you absolutely can choose in person, it is your choice. That would be about 6 to 8 hours normally. Unless you have a huge resort, then it might take a bit longer. So that is done. And then 2 weeks later, you'll receive your certificate from 1 to 5 keys. You will receive your performance report, which is wonderful. Actually, the performance report is like a map. It tells you all the great things that you've done and done well. And it tells you on the other side of the report all the things that you could be doing to improve in your journey in sustainability. Even at 5 keys, there's other things that you could be doing. So what we recommend you use this report for is communicating, 1, to your staff, so you can talk to yourself about all the great things that you've done. And then 2, improving as you go along, which is fabulous. And then we go through after that, and there is a whole plan to help you market all of these things. Because if you do not tell your guests what you are doing, and they don't understand why their towels are not being changed, the toilets don't have that much water in them, the shower isn't like belting them, they're not going to be on board. But if you tell them, you make them aware, and there's many ways that we can do this that Ailey is going to get into in just a minute. But if you get them on board and you talk to them about it, and you communicate to them, then they will actually help you and promote you as a sustainable property. So I'm going to go over to Ailey. I think she's jumping on now to walk us through some of the marketing. Oh, before I do that, there are some MSA partners that we should just talk about. So if you are a member of any one of these hotel chains, you do actually have a special rate with us. And also some of them provide help in the assessment. So when you are going through the assessment and you get to take, for example, the very first question, do you have a sustainability policy? If you're a Hyatt hotel, there will be a help button that says Hyatt Help, and it will provide your sustainability policy for you. If you're not one of these groups, you still have a lot of help that we have put into the assessment for you. So there is a Green Key Global Help button that you press, and it will give you a template for the first question of a sustainability policy that you can download and make your own. The same for the action plan question and many other areas where we provide links and help for you. But if you're one of these brands, you actually get the corporate help as well. So Ailey's jumping on now.
All right, thank you, Rebecca. So now I'm going to go through a process walkthrough to help show you how to update to the new version of the assessment, or how to just go through the process and access the tools that you have available to you. So once you log on to your dashboard, and if you don't know your password, you can either click forgot password or reach out to somebody from member services, and we will send you your login credentials and help you reset them if that's what you'd like. Once you've gotten that and you log on, this is what your dashboard will look like. And your step to do the assessment is click that first button, complete your eco rating assessment in the top corner. So once you've done that, if you've taken the assessment before, then this is what your screen will look like. It'll prompt you to either view or retake the assessment. And your step from here is to click retake assessment. The screen will then show up saying that an email has been sent. And once the process has been completed, then you can re-log on or refresh your page. And the next time you open up the same area on the dashboard, it's going to look like this. So it has a video walkthrough, which is super helpful to see how to take the assessment, where to find the tip functions, and like talk about the mandatory questions and stuff like that. It also goes through some different things like how to complete the self-assessment, who should complete it, and some information on the audit. So from here, whenever you're ready, you just click begin assessment. And this is in the same part on the dashboard. Once you've gone through the assessment and answered all of the questions, and like Rebecca mentioned, there is that help function throughout the assessment. You can then see a checklist of what you might be missing. So in this example, the person forgot to include the name and title of the person who completed the engineering section. So that is flagged. This will flag anything like missing documents, or if you forgot to answer a question. So once you've gone ahead and fixed anything that's showing up as an error, then you will then get your preliminary score. It'll tell you what you're sitting at and tips to improve your rating. If you want, you can go ahead and redo that assessment as many times as you want. You just click that retake assessment button. But like Rebecca mentioned, this is not finalized until you've been audited. So as soon as you're ready to move forward with the audit, your next step is to choose if you want a virtual or an on-site audit. So virtual audits are $500, on-site are $2,500. The virtual is a lot more eco-friendly because there's no carbon footprint associated. We also recommend it. They're both as rigorous. The virtual audit takes less time, and the on-site audit to offset the cost of the carbon footprint and also the cost of travel and accommodations is a little bit higher in price point. So once you've chosen your audit, you'll get your invoice, or if you're a legacy member and renewing this year, you do not have to pay for your audit. So if you choose virtual, so you get a $0 invoice. Once you've received the invoice and paid it, then your next step is to go in and click request audit. So from there, within 90 to 120 days, the auditor will be in touch to schedule an audit. They'll find a date and time that works best for you, and then they'll choose your video conferencing platform. So you can do it on any service. You can do Zoom, Skype, Teams, whatever works best for you. All you need is a laptop or a tablet to help walk you through the property. Once you've completed the audit and you receive your certification, you'll also get a score report and a sustainability map. You'll also get a copy of your certificate, but you can download it at any point in the members area where it says download your certificate. You can access it at any point as well. So if you lose track of that initial email, you can re-download it, and this gets updated every year. So come January 1st, you'll then get your 2024 certificate, and every year thereafter, it's going to be updated for you as long as your certification is valid. There's also marketing tools. So from there, you can participate in a case study if you're interested. You can share sustainability initiatives, and you can also find branding guidelines. So you can use the logo on your website to promote your certification. Like Rebecca mentioned, promoting your certification is crucial in attracting those sustainable travelers. We're also in the new year going to be having a digital toolkit that will include website copy and social media copy and a press release template if you want to use those as well. Then there's also tools to improve your rating in that next tab. So those tools include templates to complete your assessment, like the policy and the action plan. We have templates for those, as well as instructions on how to complete them, and also an example of completed ones. That's also where there'll be some really cool member tools that we're building out in the new year. So these are all available to you at any point on the dashboard. And now Rebecca's going to hop back on and talk about some of our recent developments.
Thank you, Avi. Yes, we are keeping pace with sustainable evolution, as I mentioned a bit earlier, and we're actually outpacing the industry with our new assessment and audit process. And we have even more to share with you. So in our original assessment, we were aligned with 7 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which are the underpinning of sustainability. And that was great, actually. But now, with our new assessment put together by experts and hoteliers, etc., as I mentioned, we are literally aligned with all of them, which is fabulous for us and for you. So you can, as a hotel, say that, yes, I'm aligned with all of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, having achieved passing the global assessment. Sorry, move on. All right, so these are our developments. So we, as I mentioned, have a rigorous online audit process now, which is a few more questions than it was, more information to upload, but that in turn gives a hotel so much more credibility when they talk about Green Key Global certification, and how it is the best and leading certification in North America. We've also made the user experience interactive and intuitive. It's a lot easier to complete the assessment now. You've got more multiple choice, and you can't actually forget to upload anything. We have a built-in process that Avi was talking about, where you have to go back and make sure everything is uploaded before you can submit the final assessment. And we have, of course, all the help options now there too. We've included the new areas of sustainability, CSR, ESG, diversity, and community, which is very important. And at the bottom of the list here, but not least important at all, is our new expanded vetted supplier program. So all of our suppliers now have to sign a mandatory code of conduct, and to make sure that they are green and to help you green your supply chain. If you're part of a brand, then you probably have a number of suppliers that you have to use, which is absolutely fine. The brand's done that for you. But if you don't, and you're looking for a local supplier or a North American supplier of any sort, then we can absolutely help you. And we are actually expanding that program. And in the new year, we will also have discounting products available in a shop on our new website for you to choose from. So even more upgrades than are right here. Moving on. Our new developments that we're really proud of is that in the new year, we are going to have some fantastic new webinars and member resources. We're talking to scientists and sustainable experts who are going to come and produce white papers. They're going to have webinars, talk to the members, all of you, about sustainable practice and process in our industry and beyond. We have a return on investment calculator, which is soon to be launched. These are, if you're looking to upgrade areas of your hotel, like the lighting to LEDs, a new form of power, refrigeration upgrades, etc., etc. That calculator can really help you. It asks you a number of questions about the upgrade intention, and then it will give you your short and long-term gains, both in energy and monetary. Then we have a brand new data partner who we are aligning with in the new year too, and they are going to help us and help you benchmark your results against the rest of the membership. You won't know who the people are, obviously, that you're benchmarking against, but you will know whereabouts you line up. So you could have like a 30% score in housekeeping, and that might be higher than the average or lower than average, and so you'll be able to find out those results. We actually have a new meetings program coming, which will be aligned with the Global Sustainable Tourism Council, like our standard currently is aligned with them as well. So that will be a brand new program. Also, we will be coming out in the near future with a standalone events program too. We have a carbon calculator that is free to members that will be coming on board. And we also have a number of organizations that can help with carbon accounting, the carbon accounting and measurement journey at a discounted price. And really exciting actually is that we have a carbon neutral event certification program now. So I'll just explain that. So your individual meetings or your congresses, events, small, large, medium meetings of any size, you can now certify them as being carbon neutral. So you can stand up at the beginning of your event and say, this event is carbon neutral and it's been brought to us by Green Key Global. So it is a form of a calculator. You still answer questions like, is your how are your travelers getting to your event? What mode of transport are they coming on? Do you have a vegan component to your menu? Are you using bulk amenities for water? Or do you have water jugs? Do you have small water bottles? Is your jam in little bottles or is it in a great big container? All of those things, all those questions you will answer, and it will give you a carbon neutral score or carbon footprint score. At that point, there'll be conversations about changing behavior. Can you change some of that behavior? Can you carpool some people in, et cetera, because that travel is always a really major part of carbon footprint. And then after that, what is left of the carbon can be offset by using a carbon offset. We are partnered with Carbon Zero, who have a great portfolio of carbon offsets at a really wonderfully discounted price for us. So that's a very exciting program. And we are working towards, actually, that last point there, being accredited by the end of the year. So there is nothing more than recognized at the moment. None of the programs out there are more than recognized, but we are going that extra step with our government funding and all the fabulous upgrades that we've made to become accredited by the end of the year. So let's move on one more. Yep, so Ailey's going to jump in here.
All right, so after this presentation, we're going to send you a copy of this presentation. So you'll get a copy of the PowerPoint, and you'll also get a Dropbox link with a lot of really cool tools. So there's a bunch of information pages, including program information pages that talks about the eco rating program, the meeting program, and the carbon neutral event certification. There's also a staff onboarding page that will help you teach new staff about sustainability initiatives and the possibility of the handover for new management. It helps ease the process. There's also a lot of guest-facing material, like a guest-facing one-pager that you can use in your check-in package, and some what to expect documents with guidance video links on how to complete the audit and assessment. There's an FAQ page with general and audit specific FAQs, a mandatory question document that goes over all of the mandatory questions in the assessment so it can help you prepare when taking the new assessment, as well as Green Key Global branding assets like logos that you can put on your website, and departmental checklists. These checklists are really helpful for day-to-day operations. It includes things that you can do in day-to-day processes to improve sustainability at your property. And a lot of these tips actually also help you save money in the long term as well. They're just really good for each department to have and use and follow to boost sustainability. There's also some animated videos, like an About Green Key Global video. This will really help teach staff about what Green Key is, and it's also something that could be helpful for you as a general overview, as well as talking about sustainability at your hotel. This is almost a training video for you and for staff to talk about sustainability to both other staff members, but also to guests, and learn how to talk about your initiatives. There's a video on the new carbon neutral event certification program, a video on being sustainable in different areas of your hotel. This video is really helpful. It has a whole bunch of cool facts about different stats and things in different areas that you can do that you might not even be aware of that are easy fixes in different parts of your hotel, as well as the assessment audit and audit walkthrough videos. In the future, there's also going to be a roster of in-room ads that you can use. These ads are great for guest rooms. They talk about the fact that your hotel is certified and what it means to be certified by Green Key, as well as a digital toolkit that we're building out that includes website copy, social media copy, and a template of a press release that you can use if you would like. And any other collateral that we have will be updated in this same Dropbox link.
Okay, well, we are going to go over to Anu for questions. But just before we do that, we also have Margot Martin with us. And Margot speaks fluent French. So if there is anyone on the call that is French speaking, Margot will be able to answer your call in French. And just for your information, all of our French members possibly on the call today, we can actually send this presentation out to you in French as well very soon. So we also should mention there that we are partnered with One Tree Planted. So every new membership, we plant a tree in an area of deforestation to help reforest that area. Some great projects there. And I think Anu, you might know how many trees we've planted, like a small forest or something so far.
Yeah, so we currently have a total number of 777 trees planted for all our members. And that's about 7.7 acres of land, which is great, honestly.
Fantastic. Thank you. Over to questions.
All right, so please feel free to put your questions in the Q&A section. But for now, we don't have any questions that I can see. So I'll just go ahead and read out some frequently asked questions that we have. One of those questions is how long does a virtual audit typically take to complete versus an in-person audit?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. So normally a virtual audit takes approximately 4 hours. It can be a little bit more if you've got a much bigger hotel. And then the in-person is 6 to 8 hours. And again, if you have a huge resort, that might be a little more. Or if you've opted out of some areas, say if you're limited service, you don't have to answer questions on if you have a pool, if you have a restaurant and those conference facilities, so your question will be a little lighter, then that might take a little less time too.
Thank you, Rebecca. Another frequently asked question is, does one have to complete the assessment in one session?
That's a good question too. No, so you can answer it. You can take as long as you like, as long as you keep saving it. That's really key. You can have as many people in the assessment as you want, answering the questions at the same time, as long as they save their work as well. But you can take as long as you like doing the assessment. I always tell people though to remember that you're not completely certified until you get to the end after the audit process.
Thank you. We do have some questions in the Q&A section. The first question says, I have one document, Green Key Global version 4 mandatory questions that includes engineering question 3A, scope 3 emissions as mandatory. On the assessment, it is not listed as mandatory. Can you clarify that requirement?
So on question 3A, it's listed as mandatory or it is not? I'm unclear on the question.
Yes, it's listed as mandatory on question 3A, but in the assessment itself, it's not listed as mandatory. So on the website, yeah.
Okay. Adi, can you comment on that? Did we change it?
Yeah, so it is possible that it's no longer mandatory. We did review some of them and took off some of the mandatory questions that were harder for hotels to accomplish at this time. So it is completely possible that it's not mandatory anymore. And I will take a look and update the document if needed. So if it's not showing up as mandatory in the assessment, then you're all good. If you don't have that, you don't need to answer that question.
Thanks, Adi. So that's the latest information in the actual assessment. So that's only good news. It's a bit easier for you.
And then we have a question from Bethan Edwards that says, can you elaborate on the accreditation you're obtaining?
Absolutely. Hi, Bethany. Nice to see you. Yeah, so we are working with the Global Sustainable Tourism Council to be accredited by the end of next year. The Global Sustainable Tourism Council currently, that's the standard that we're aligned against for our eco program.
And we have one comment from Christian Detman. He says, "Great job, GKG team. These updates are fantastic to learn about. Exciting times to come in 2024.
Thank you, Christian. And Christian actually is our data partner with Aptin. So we are partnered with Aptin to bring you a new dashboard in the new year and the benchmarking that I was talking about. So thanks for being on the call, Christian.
Those are all the questions we have. Thank you, Rebecca.
Fantastic. Thank you, Anu. Well, great to talk to you all today. Now, if you do have anything you want to discuss with us one-on-one, then you see that Ailey and my emails there. Anu's we will add too, because she can definitely help too. But just give us a shout, either call or email, and we can give you either a one-on-one consultation or just answer a couple of questions if you have any questions after that. Okay, well, thank you all very, very much. I'm so sorry I dropped out a little bit there. You can never rely on the internet 100%. This call is being recorded, so we can also send this out to you along, like Ailey said, with all of the fabulous documents to help you on your journey. Thank you very much.